Why do teams still resist for this structure so much? Like, I hate Jira sentence. I think it's common in every single organization. And do you think it is like from bad memories, from the previous tools, or its lack of onboarding? So my question here is, how do you actually get those teams to like the system, to use the system without forcing compliance?
Yeah, so the second part is the most important because a lot of companies hate the tool that they use. A lot of teams hate the tool that they use, and they're forced to be compliant. And that's what really makes them hate it, because they are using a solution that is not optimal, a solution that creates a lot of friction for their work, creates a lot of barriers, complexity, and then they're being forced to use it. And then they absolutely hate it. And that's where we see all the Jira hate come from, because all of these solutions are oftentimes built in a very non-ideal way. And then companies say you absolutely have to do this and use this, and then the team hates it. So I would focus on building a solution that the teams love. Now, what do I mean by this? Building a solution that teams love makes it really easy to create something, to move it through the workflow, and then to complete it. So if, for example, you have 10 fields that you need context on when you're getting a work item that's already completed, like by the end of the workflow, you need 10 required fields for future reporting. Rather than adding in 2 required fields in a screen per each workflow change, because then every single time you jump in and pretty much take any single action, you get a screen that pops up that says, hey, we need this context or information. I would reevaluate what information you actually need, because a lot of times companies require information that they do not need, that they think they do. And when we really get down to it, I end up asking them, is this something you're actually reporting on currently? If the answer is no, then we just get rid of it altogether. Usually you could get rid of 50% of the fields doing just that. And then I would suggest bundling all of the requirements into the back half of the workflow. That way you can create and kind of get a good trajectory, or get on the roll of actually working through a task, and then add any requirements down the road. The worst, I think, is when you stack a ton of required fields on creation, because that really kills the motivation for someone to actually create a work item. And sometimes you just can't get around this, like a service management like portal or customer support request. In those scenarios, I try to make it as simple as possible with conditional logic, least amount of required fields, very simple and easy to fill out fields. But with work management style boards, where it's like a task tracking or engineering team backlog or something along those lines, I try to make it as simple as possible to create a work item and get the progress and momentum going on it, and then require context information later if you need to, and bundle it as much as you can. That way every single transition doesn't require something. It's only, let's say, on 1 or 2 transitions that you're actually required to input information. And at that point, work becomes much more enjoyable, because you can actually feel like you're jumping in and getting something done without being blocked and stopped every single time that you try to make some sort of a change. So make that enjoyable, make it easy, put yourself in the shoes of someone who's using that process every single day, and try to encourage them to add context and information. Try to build that culture rather than adding those restrictions and requirements just because you can. Real quick, I know this looks like a lot, and if you'd rather just have me and my team help implement exactly what I'm showing you in this video, that is exactly what we do. We're currently opening up 4 more slots for our Jira strategy. We only run 4 of these per month. If you're interested, hit the first link in the description below.